Never stop reading the Bible. Welcome. Today we're jumping into 3 really pivotal chapters from the Gospel of Matthew, and they all wrestle with one huge, challenging question. Yeah, what is the real cost of following a king whose throne is a cross? It's a heavy question, right? And these chapters unpack it beautifully. We're going to see a major confession, then a flash of incredible glory, and finally get down to the brass tacks of what it means to live in this new kingdom.
All right, let's get right into it. Chapter 16 kicks things off with a bang, a moment of serious confrontation and a huge revelation.
So the scene opens with the religious leaders kind of testing Jesus. They're like, show us a sign from heaven, prove you're the real deal. But Jesus, he doesn't play that game. He turns it right back on them and offers only the sign of Jonah. And what's that? Well, it's this powerful hint about his own death and resurrection. You know, just like Jonah was in the belly of that fish for 3 days and came out, Jesus is pointing to something much bigger than a simple magic trick. So while everyone's demanding signs and full of doubt, Peter steps up and has this light bulb moment. It's huge. He just comes out and says it. You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. This isn't just a casual observation. It's the declaration, the one that becomes a bedrock for everything that comes after. Okay, but here's where it gets wild. Right after this amazing confession, Jesus starts talking about how he's going to suffer and die. And Peter, probably thinking he's being a good friend, says, no way. And Jesus hits him with this, get behind me, Satan. Whoa, it's a total shocker. But it's so important. It shows this massive gap between God's plan and our human ideas of what a Messiah should be. This clash is everything. And that brings us to the core of it all. Following this kind of Messiah isn't about power and glory like we normally think. It's a complete flip. It's about denying yourself, taking up your cross, and just following him. It's a radical, life-changing call. Now, just when you're thinking, wow, that's intense, the story pivots. Hard. After laying out the tough reality of the cross, we get this incredible glimpse of why it's all worth it. We're heading into chapter 17, and it is all about glory. So Jesus takes Peter, James, and John up a high mountain, and bam, everything changes. His appearance is transformed, shining like the sun, and then Moses and Elijah just appear. You've got the law and the prophets right there, basically showing he's the fulfillment of everything. And if that wasn't enough, a voice from heaven booms out, "This is my son, listen to him." Talk about an unforgettable moment. But then, we get another one of those whiplash moments. They come down from this incredible, divine mountaintop experience, and they find chaos. The disciples who stayed behind can't heal a boy who desperately needs it. A failure, Jesus says, is because of their lack of faith. It's such a powerful lesson. Seeing glory is one thing, but having the faith to act on it, that's something else entirely. And that gap between the mountaintop and the valley is the perfect setup for chapter 18. Because now things get super practical. We're moving from grand visions to the nitty-gritty of how this new community is actually supposed to live and relate to each other. So, of course, the disciples start arguing about who is the greatest. And Jesus just completely blows up their whole concept of greatness. He doesn't point to the powerful or the influential. He puts a little kid in the middle of them and says that true greatness is found in humility. And he continues this theme with a powerful emphasis on protecting the vulnerable. He makes it crystal clear that every single person matters, painting this picture of a shepherd leaving 99 sheep to go rescue just one that has wandered off. So, what about when people hurt each other? Peter, thinking he's being generous, asks if forgiving someone 7 times is enough. Jesus' response, 77 times, isn't a literal number. It's a symbol for limitless, unending forgiveness. To make this point unforgettable, Jesus tells the parable of the unforgiving servant. Just look at the scale of this. A king forgives a servant an impossible debt of 10,000 talents, an unpayable amount. It's an act of unbelievable grace. But then, that same servant turns around and has a man imprisoned for a debt of 100 denarii, a tiny fraction of what he was forgiven. The message is painfully clear. How can we withhold forgiveness from others when we've received grace on such an astronomical scale? So let's pull this all together. It's a clear progression. First, we define Jesus' true identity, not just a glorious son, but a suffering Messiah. Second, that redefines discipleship as a call to the cross. And finally, that shared sacrifice becomes the foundation for a new kind of community, one built on humility and limitless forgiveness. And that leaves us with a really challenging thought, doesn't it? In a world that so often values strength, status, and getting even, These principles of humility and radical forgiveness completely challenge our own definitions of what it means to be powerful and successful.
This explainer was brought to you by the Center Studio.